All right, everyone. I hope you're traveling safely and operating your rigs with full attention while listening to this. Hello, my name is Tim Godin. Luis asked me to create an easy way for all of you to get the information about a few services that will be invaluable to you. This service is completely voluntary. However, considering the services protect your very means of providing a living, I'm very confident you will immediately wish to take advantage of them. I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, value not just keeping your CDL license, but keeping your insurance costs down. Also, I'm sure you would love to have affordable legal help for yourself as well as your family while you're on the road. I'm also sure you carry, so protecting your rights as well as having legal access 24/7 about any legal need, especially gun-related incidents, would be of interest to you. Over the next few minutes, you will hear from one of my team members' truck driver clients that was able to use his membership to keep his CDL license. The attorney representing him went to the state he was driving and got the infraction, and he didn't even have to be there. You will also hear from the leading, largest CCW instruction company called Front Sight that operates out of Texas about the services they use to protect their clients and why they chose them instead of others. Please let your employer and Luis know what services you're interested in as soon as possible. There are advantages by attaining these services as a group.
Hello, my name is Stella Rodriguez. I have been an over-the-road truck driver for 15 years. I had a member last year get pulled over doing 68 in a 45. When everything was said and done, he ended up being charged with only a defective headlamp, 1-point infraction on his license, and a $68 fine. Stay safe out there, everyone.
Hello from Legal Shield. We believe every commercial driver needs legal protection, but first things first. What is a commercial driver's legal plan, and why should you want it? Quite simply, the commercial driver's legal plan gives you access to lawyers for transportation-related issues at an affordable rate. Attorneys are, well, expensive. $250 to $500 per issue expensive. But with a commercial driver's legal plan, you get access to our commercial driver's provider law firm for about $400 a year. That's a pretty easy choice. If you've used a lawyer for issues like this before, this probably all sounds great. If not, you may be wondering, why would I even need a lawyer? It turns out that lawyers can help you with all kinds of transportation issues that you may not have even realized. Things ranging from moving and non-moving violations, DOT, Department of Transportation violations, license reinstatement, tragic accident representation, CSA consultation, and much more. Whatever transportation issue you may be facing, a lawyer will help you make the best decision for you, your spouse, and your motor vehicle record, or MVR, in the future by knowing your full legal rights. That's always a good thing. So legal protection is a smart choice. Now, why choose Legal Shield? For starters, Legal Shield has been in business 40 plus years and helped over 1.5 million families that trust Legal Shield as their legal protection provider. Legal Shield has partnered with a law firm that gives you access to lawyers who can answer your transportation legal issues when you need them. So you'll never have to worry about what lawyer to use, since we've already done the legwork for you. And you'll always get an experienced lawyer who is dedicated to helping you in the state where your legal issue occurred. Remember, communication with your lawyer is key, and in most cases, your lawyer can represent you in court without you having to be there. Legal protection is good, and Legal Shield is the best. Now let's talk about your specific plan. You can enroll in Legal Shield for a low monthly fee determined by the plan you choose, along with a one-time enrollment fee of $25. Special pricing is available for drivers who enroll in the plan as part of an employee group. Your membership includes help with moving and non-moving violations, DOT violations, license reinstatements, tragic accident representation, transportation law, CSA consultation, and much more. This specific plan covers you and your spouse or domestic partner in personal or commercial vehicles. With Legal Shield, you're in a position of power with access to a dedicated lawyer whenever you need it. Legal plans are also available for family coverage. Just see your independent associate for more information.
Let's look at the problems or liabilities associated with gunfights. There are 3 of them, and we have very cleverly named them problems 1, 2, and 3. Problem 1 is the tactical liability. In other words, problem 1 is the gunfight itself. Problem 2 is criminal liability. In other words, are you going to get arrested and are you going to jail? Problem 3 is civil liability, meaning are you going to get sued and lose everything that you own? Front Sight is very good with respect to problem 1. That's what we do. That's what we've been doing for decades. However, until recently, we have not had much of a tangible solution for solving problems 2 and 3. Well, I'm happy to report that those days are gone. We now have a solution for you regarding problems 2 and 3. And that solution comes to you in the form of a company known as Legal Shield. Legal Shield offers you access to almost 7,000 attorneys nationwide for one flat fee. Legal Shield is not the only player in this game. Obviously, there's some competition. We did a lot of work, a lot of research, a lot of vetting before partnering with anyone, including Legal Shield. We teamed up with Legal Shield for 3 reasons. First, they are the biggest. They have over 1.4 million families under their protection. Secondly, they are the best. They've been around for well over 45 years. And finally, they are the most appropriate for what you and I need. And here's why. Legal Shield handles all of the routine daily issues we all face. In addition, Legal Shield handles the big, scary, traumatic stuff. For example, if at 3 o'clock in the morning, heaven forbid, you're forced to press the trigger, that is the wrong time to be flipping through the yellow pages trying to find an attorney. You need to have your act together well in advance of that. You need access to your attorney 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, literally 365 days a year, because you have no idea when that problem is going to land in your lap. And that is exactly what Legal Shield does. Joining Legal Shield for $24.95 a month gives you and your entire family protection and peace of mind, regardless of the type of problem, regardless of where you live, and regardless of where you are when you need help. Let me tell you what Legal Shield is not. Legal Shield is not limited in scope strictly to the use of that gun. I mention this because there are lots of products out there which are strictly limited to the use of that weapon. Furthermore, many of those CCW type policies out there are designed only to reimburse your legal expenses and only if you're found innocent. That is a very narrow scope of coverage. That is not the case with Legal Shield. Legal Shield gives you a much broader, much more holistic coverage. Also, Legal Shield is not a contract. Now, we've all had contracts shoved down our throats. You buy a new cell phone, it's a 2-year contract. Sign up at the health club, it's a 1-year contract. Such is not the case with Legal Shield. With Legal Shield, you simply pay month to month. If you ever feel that you need to devote that $25 to something more important than your family's legal security, then you simply stop paying. That's it. It's just that simple. There is no risk. A Legal Shield membership starts with the Family Legal Plan. After that, there are several supplements that you can add to your membership to further protect your family. I'll tell you about those supplements in just a minute, but first, let me give you some details about the Family Legal Plan. The cost is $24.95 a month in most states. In a few states, the cost is actually a little bit less. For example, in Nevada, the cost is $17 a month. As the name indicates, the Family Legal Plan is obviously a family membership. Your membership covers you, your spouse or significant other, and you don't need to be married, and your kids up to the age of 18 if they're out of the house, or up to age 26 if they are students or living at home. Your legal plan is valid wherever you go in America. If you're traveling out of state and you need assistance, then you simply call your legal provider back home and they put you in touch with a legal firm where you currently are. You are never without coverage. First on a long list of legal services is legal advice. Legal Shield will provide you with legal advice on an unlimited number of issues. Pick up the phone and ask whatever legal question you have. Call as often as you want, stay on the phone as long as you need. There are no quotas, there are no limitations. If you have a legal question, they have an answer. Legal Shield will also send letters or make phone calls on your behalf. Let's say that you entered into some sort of transaction and you got the short end of the stick. In other words, you got screwed and you want to send off a demand letter. Don't write it yourself. Have your Legal Shield attorney write it and send it on your behalf. Also, Legal Shield will review legal documents before you execute them. Those documents might be a promissory note, a quitclaim deed, or maybe you're trying to purchase a new home and you have that massive stack of loan documents to review. Have your Legal Shield attorney review all of those for you before you execute them. Legal Shield also has an enormous online bank or catalog of legal forms. So if you need any kind of legal form, you simply go to LegalShield.com, scroll through the long list of forms, download the appropriate PDF, fill it in as best you can, and then send it to your Legal Shield attorney. They will assist you in completing it and obviously reviewing it before you execute it. Legal Shield will also assist you with your estate planning. As such, your Legal Shield attorney will prepare your will, your living will, and your durable power of attorney. Now here's a statistic that I still have trouble wrapping my head around. Over 80% of Americans lack a valid will. Isn't that crazy? 80% of us don't have a valid will. Well, the problem is if you don't have a will, the state you live in has one for you. And that is not the way you want to divvy up your assets. So, as part of your family legal plan, you're going to get a will. Now we know that life changes, things evolve, so every year you're going to get a review and obviously a modification of your will, living will, and durable power of attorney. Legal Shield will also handle many of your family law issues, provided they're uncontested. Examples include separation, divorce, annulment, adoption, and name change. Many of us spend untold hours every day behind the wheel. As such, Legal Shield offers you a vast array of coverage regarding motor vehicles. For example, you are covered if you need assistance with moving violations, reinstatement of a suspended or revoked driver's license, or representation in criminal charges. Legal Shield will even help you file a lawsuit against another party to help you recover damages. There are some obvious exceptions here. For example, this coverage is out the window if you do something stupid like a DUI or a hit and run. But if you operate within the law, you're covered. Okay, I must admit, I have personally made pretty good use of Legal Shield's coverage of moving violations. In fact, twice. Most recently, I was coming up and over the hill from Las Vegas. That's a 70-mile-an-hour zone up there, and I was going 89. I got pulled over, I received the big citation. I took a photo of the citation with my cell phone, sent it to my Legal Shield attorney, and they handled it from there, including representing me in court in Pahrump. And my 89-mile-an-hour speeding ticket was reduced to illegal parking, which I thought was pretty good. But don't make too good a use of this feature. Tempting as it is, Legal Shield is not licensed to speed. Here's a feature of your legal plan you probably didn't expect. If you are audited by the IRS, Legal Shield has you covered. You have up to 50 hours of attorney's time to battle the IRS and get the matter resolved. Most people are completely intimidated by the IRS. Well, not anymore. As part of your Legal Shield plan, you and your family have 24/7 emergency access to an attorney. Anytime, day or night, pick up the phone and call the toll-free Legal Shield emergency access line to speak to a living, breathing attorney. You're not talking to an answering service or leaving a message on a machine. You're not even talking to a paralegal. you're speaking directly to a legitimate attorney. Call the 24-hour emergency access number if you or your loved one are being detained, questioned, searched, or arrested by law enforcement, or if you're being served with a warrant, or if the state is trying to take your child, or if you are seriously injured. Obviously, if you have a routine legal need, say like a document review, you'll call your attorney during normal business hours. However, if you have an emergency, you call the emergency access line 24/7. Let me tell you a little story. I recently attended a Legal Shield conference, and as you would expect, they're throwing out all kinds of statistics and information. Here's one statistic that stuck with me. When you call the emergency access line at Legal Shield, the average amount of time it takes before you are speaking to an honest-to-God attorney is 6 seconds. 6 seconds. Imagine that. That's pretty impressive. Obviously, Legal Shield is ready whenever you need them. One of the key features of your Legal Shield family plan is trial defense hours. As part of your membership, you will have a bank of hours to defend yourself and your loved ones if you are ever named as defendants in a civil lawsuit. Now, these hours are not intended to defend you against criminal prosecution, but rather defend you in a civil lawsuit. The hours available to you grow each year from 60 hours at year 1 up to 300 hours by year 5. Now listen, we live in a very litigious society. Everybody's suing everybody else for the most ridiculous stuff. If you have to haul out that weapon and stop an adversary, you're definitely going to get sued. Trial defense is one of the key reasons why Front Sight teamed up with Legal Shield. All of the features I have mentioned already are covered 100% by your Legal Shield membership. However, there are a number of legal issues which are not included in your membership. Therefore, the final feature of your legal plan is a 25% discount on legal services for all of those situations which fall outside of your membership. For example, you'll receive a 25% discount from your attorney to handle such things as criminal defense, DUI, hit and run, bankruptcy, contested divorce, contested child custody, or any pre-existing situation. So if you need legal help beyond your membership, you've got it at 25% off. And that's a big win. Let's create a scenario to determine how Legal Shield would benefit you. So let's assume that you're legally carrying a gun for self-defense. Then one lonely night at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're forced to use that weapon to defend yourself or your family. I say 3 o'clock in the morning because these things obviously never happen 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. You decisively handle the threat. Your first call is 911, obviously. Your second call is the 24-hour emergency access line at Legal Shield. In 6 seconds, you're speaking directly to an attorney. The cops show up and start the big interview process. As they do, you have legitimate live counsel in your ear the entire time. If you are detained or arrested, you will have representation the entire time. The case may well go to a grand jury to determine if criminal charges are warranted. Legal Shield covers you through that process as well. And the grand jury process can be pretty expensive, often costing $10,000 or more in attorney's fees. That's not a problem because it's covered by your membership. You are covered 100% by your membership up to the point where criminal charges are filed. In all likelihood, there won't be criminal charges filed because you are trained and you handled the shooting in a responsible, ethical, legal fashion. If, heaven forbid, criminal charges are filed against you, your criminal defense will be handled at 25% off of your attorney's regular rates. Have no fear. In just a moment, I'm going to tell you about a supplement to your legal plan which completely handles criminal defense as well. Next comes the lawsuit. Even though the idiot who attacked you was a complete loser, he still has a grieving mother or a wife or somebody who's looking for a handout. Make no mistake, you're going to get sued. Not a problem. You have up to 300 hours to handle any civil issues. If you're worried about 300 hours not being enough, in just a second, I'm going to tell you about another supplement which gives you a total of 400 hours. Either way, Legal Shield has you covered. All right, that's the end of my scenario. It's pretty easy to tell that $25 a month is a bargain compared to the tens of thousands of dollars you would spend without Legal Shield. Even if you're wealthy and you don't mind spending tens of thousands of dollars on attorney's fees, you're still smart enough not to if you don't have to. By the way, my scenario is not at all far-fetched. We've been offering Legal Shield now to our student body since 2014, and it has been a very successful action for us. The coverage is terrific, the price point is modest, and it's appropriate for just about everyone. In other words, we have a lot of students carrying guns on the street with a Legal Shield membership. And not surprisingly, some of them have gotten into shootings. Understand, if you get into a shooting, there is no mandate that you call Front Sight and tell us how it went. I mean, we certainly appreciate that, but there's no mandate along those lines at all. However, since we have been offering Legal Shield, I have had 3 students personally contact me to tell me about their shootings and subsequently how they used their Legal Shield membership. Each of these 3 shootings were almost exactly the same. Each involved one good guy and one bad guy. They all involved a handgun. Each was a controlled pair, and down he went. Each and every one of them was at night. 2 were in homes, 1 was in a place of business. The first call, of course, was 911. The second call was 1-800-LEGAL SHIELD. None of the shootings resulted in criminal charges. All 3 of them resulted in lawsuits. Each of the lawsuits were dropped the instant the opposition learned that our students had 300 hours of attorney's fees prepaid. The other side lost interest pretty quickly. Each of those 3 students told me that having a Legal Shield membership was the most comforting thing they could imagine under such stressful circumstances. And that is why Front Sight teamed up with Legal Shield. In the story I just relayed to you, all 3 students were completely protected with just the family legal plan. In other words, no supplements needed. Regardless, there are several supplements that you can add to your legal plan to further protect your family. Personally, I have every supplement offered by Legal Shield because for such a modest amount of money, I want all of the protection I can get. You just never know. Remember, your Legal Shield membership starts with the legal plan, and you can add supplements now, later, or not at all. You can also drop supplements in the future if you change your mind. The first supplement you should consider is the gun owner's supplement. Any gun owners in the room? This supplement obviously is a natural for Front Sight staff and students. For $12.95 a month, here's what you get. 60 hours of criminal defense. You already have a ton of civil hours in the bank with your legal plan, and now you're covered criminally as well. And if you don't need the 60 hours for criminal defense, you can add them to your pile of civil hours. Additionally, Legal Shield will create an NFA gun trust for you for a flat fee of $250. The National Firearms Act, or NFA, regulates the ownership of submachine guns, short-barreled rifles, suppressors, and the like. Many states allow the ownership of NFA guns. These items can be owned by corporations like Front Sight, individuals, or trusts. A properly prepared NFA trust enables all of the trustees to use the guns and provides for an orderly transition of ownership of those guns upon your death. Next is the Trial Defense Supplement. This one is very straightforward. For $9.95 a month, you receive an additional 100 hours of trial defense. Your legal plan gives you 300 hours. This supplement gives you another 100, obviously for a total of 400 hours. That is a formidable amount of protection if you are ever named in a civil lawsuit. And understand, I'm not just talking about guns here. You could be sued because of a traffic accident, or someone slips and falls on your sidewalk, or 100 other ridiculous reasons. It doesn't matter why you're getting sued, you're covered up to 400 hours with this supplement. And that's real comfort. Legal Shield also offers numerous other plans and supplements, including identity theft protection and business plans. Now, these items are definitely worthy of your consideration, but I'm not going to take the time right now to describe